Hey, what's up guys? My name's Edel and I play the Spinning Ball character in Overwatch. I'm pretty alright at the video game, so if you want to learn a thing or two, be sure to check me out when I'm live at twitch.tv/Edel, link in the description. Rolling right into it with technique number 1. Reload. You automatically reload in ball form. The speed at which you reload is the exact same speed as reloading in crab mode. It's important to get into the habit of doing this because it will 1. Protect your head hitbox and 2. Make it easier to dodge bullets. Spin to win. The name says it all. Grapple something and start spinning in circles. Instead of constantly swiping your mouse, save yourself from arthritis and start using the movement keys to spin. Also worth noting, you can jump when you're spinning. Don't forget about that. It might be useful for something, I don't know. Minefield Pile Driver. One of the most basic yet most useful techs for any Hammond main. If you have Minefield, you almost always want to combo it with Pile Driver. The slow from Pile Driver gives your mines time to activate, which in turn helps secure kills. Pile Driver timing. If you think you're high enough to get a Pile Driver off, but you never spam the ability fast enough, just hold it down instead. Bouncing. Much like real life physics, a ball that bounces can carry over its max speed longer by bouncing rather than rolling. This is really useful for when you're on the run or when you're going for the Eichenwald spawn to point A speed run. Momentum stopper. Sometimes ball is just too fast for his own good. If you ever need to hit the brakes, literally stop rolling. Just leave ball form and you're chilling. Quick fireball. Whether it be for speed or for damage, every baller has to get the basics right. Learn and master the timing and distance needed for fireball startup so that you can maximize your cooldown usage and end up with less awkward interactions where you're just smacking your ball against people. Air strafe. Building off of what we said about stopping momentum, if you leave ball form mid-air, you'll lose your movement speed bonus, which in turn makes avoiding obstacles easier. Optimize punch/aim. Wrecking Ball is easily one of the top boxers in Overwatch, with most of his abilities requiring contact and his guns having the spread of a geezer in a urinal. You're going to want to get some swings in. First, try and track as many shots as possible on the enemy, and when you're about to miss, hit him with a left hook. While this is happening, use the time locked in melee animation to adjust your aim. Concealed movement. Wrecking Ball can't crouch. So sad, but so true. He's also pretty loud when crab walking, but thankfully rolling around isn't as bad. And if you combine slow rolling with third person peeking, you can become quite the assassin. Additionally, if you roll out with a high grapple, you can silence your initial landing by holding the jump input midair. You can perform this silent landing without grapple, and with pretty much every hero, as long as you make sure to hold jump when dropping from a higher ground. Recovery Pile Driver. If you're dueling an enemy on high ground, you can debate them and the game by jumping off of high ground and coming right back with a slam. You can also use this to save yourself from falling off the map. Reload animation cancel. Earlier I said that reloading in ball form is just as fast as crab mode. Well, now I'm back to say that this was a lie. Technically, you reload in crab mode after 0.95 seconds, but you can't shoot until the animation finishes at 2 seconds. In other words, if you want to maximize your damage per second, you can do one of the two things. 1. Melee, or 2. Quick grapple into fireball. Wall jump easy version. If a wall or surface is curved inwards, all you have to do is roll up to it and jump for the extra height. This is pretty useful to have in your back pocket because the extra height helps you chain into a pile driver. Pullback. If there's ever an enemy in between you and a wall, you can grapple high, run him over, and bounce back with a slam. The pullback from the grapple should help you get just enough height to pull this off. You can also just use this tech to get pile driver height if you're not comfortable with wall jumping. Toronto Kick. Similar to pullback but more universal and less movement, if you grapple above your enemy, roll backwards and jump at the same time. The pullback from your grapple will give you enough elevation to pull out a pile driver. High ground retake. There's a ton of high grounds in the game you can yoink by using the extra hop you get from pile driver. This method can catch enemies off guard and save you from using your grapple cooldown. Rebound tech. You can pull off this tech without the pile driver, but it's way easier to follow up on if you do. All you have to do is grapple the nearest wall, fireball into it, and bump your enemies back to bronze. U-turn. The secret to this technique is all in the name. Grapple until you're close to a wall, make a slight turn, and you can carry your fireball momentum into the complete opposite direction. The reason this works is because after releasing grapple, fireball will maintain your max speed for 1.5 seconds every time, so long as it doesn't meet a strong opposing force. This is really useful for keeping top speed and making yourself harder to catch during a hit and run. Double boop. Connect a fireball on the enemy, back up, and and then go for another fireball. It sounds simple, but to get the ideal results, you have to master the timing of when to back up and the length of grapple you'll need. There's no other tips for this tech, just practice. Space tech. If you're at the same level as another high ground, grappling any lower point of that structure will slowly get you across. This tech isn't really practical for much, but I thought it was cool enough to share. Slam skip. If there's a ledge in the game that you can jump over, chances are you can slam skip it too. Remember when I talked about holding down the pile driver input so that you'll never mess up the timing? Well, this tech becomes a million times easier when you do just that. Hold pile driver, roll towards the ledge, and jump. Your jump timing can make a difference, but for the most part, treat it like an easy wall jump and you're good. Wall jump hard version. There's a lot of surfaces in the game that aren't curved inwards, but are instead flat. The trick to wall jumping these walls can be explained in 3 steps. 1. Movement input towards the wall. 2. Release movement input as you're about to touch the wall. 3. Use the opposite movement input and jump. If you practice this enough, you can pull it off fairly consistently on walls you're familiar with. People jumping. Yes, you can wall jump people, but be careful because unlike walls, they can actually move. Except when they can't. Super jump. If Wrecking Ball had a style move equivalent to 720 no-scoping, this would be it. If you thought wall jumping was hard, now you're doing that, but with more speed. This technique requires you to make frame-perfect inputs against slanted surfaces. It's a pretty cool move, but if you mess it up, you're without a grapple for 5 seconds, and chances are, you're probably somewhere you don't want to be. Last but not least, we got the power stance. T-posing is cool and all, but have you ever grappled towards your enemy while in crab mode? I think not. To perform this tech, all you have to do is melee and grapple at the same time. And as you're meleeing, hold your transform input and boom, you're instantly the coolest guy in the lobby. Anyways, I hope this video helped some of you guys out, and if it did, help this guy out. As many of you know, I'm a full-time streamer. YouTube doesn't exactly feed the family of 12 hamsters. So if you want to give back to your boy, consider supporting your boy with a Twitch Prime or something like that at twitch.tv/Edel. That's pretty much all I have to say, so if you like the video, like the video. If you want to say something, go comment, whatever. But yeah, I guess see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.